I have been hearing from so many of you around the whole topic of not being able to let go of your ex, let go of that relationship. Trust me, I know just how difficult that is, especially when you are still in love with the person. So, I want to talk to you today on how to let go when you still love your ex. Heavy topic, yes, but we're going to talk about it. So, join me back here in just a few. Hey sis, welcome to Goodbye Heartbreak, Hello Healing. Are you hurt and confused after a recent breakup? Are you having thoughts like, I can't believe I'm here again. Why wasn't I enough for him? Or I'm never going to get married? Do you find yourself Googling how to get past the breakup or how to heal my broken heart? Do you start your morning feeling like you can finally breathe again, only to fall apart when you see a picture of your ex on social media? Hey sis, I'm Candace. I too was a single Christian woman who was heartbroken but still desired marriage. I too had numerous failed relationships and wished the right man would come along. I wanted closure from past relationships, healing for my heart, and I wanted to feel joy in my life again. But the truth is, I had no idea where to start or how to make any of this happen. Until I found the secret, partnering with God to heal from heartbreak. In this podcast, you will find tips for moving on after breakups, growing your relationship with God, and preparing for future relationships so that you will heal your heart and be ready to move forward into the life you desire. So turn off those heartbreak songs and turn me up in those earbuds. It's time to heal, sis. Hey sis, and welcome back for another episode. So excited that you are here. You know my infamous, do your two things, subscribe to the podcast, and leave your 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts if you haven't already. And speaking of reviews, I have another one that I would like to read on today. It is from Danielle Mason Jackson, and the title is So Real and Needed. She said, such an amazing and faith-filled podcast that is incredibly needed for us women. Almost every single woman I know has been in a toxic relationship and or has experienced heartbreak. I know when I went through mine, I wasn't rooted in who Christ said I was, nor did I have anyone to speak truth and life into me. This is totally the podcast for you if you're trying to heal from your heartbreak. Thank you, Candace, for your vulnerability and heart to serve women in this area. God bless you. Thank you, Danielle, so much for your 5-star written review. It is so encouraging to hear from you guys as you are listening to the podcast and gleaning and sharing. I really do appreciate you so much. You have no idea that these reviews keep me going, y'all, for real, because like I said, it just encourages me. So thank you, and keep them coming. So we are talking about letting go of your ex when you still love him. Hard stuff. It really is hard stuff. And I have absolutely been there. I remember just, oh my God, trying my hardest to make things happen. And, I know everybody's situation is different because I was trying to make things happen that just wasn't happening, right? It just wasn't working out the way that I wanted it to. Some of you, your ex may still be around and you need to set boundaries. Some of you want to be with your ex, but your ex doesn't want to be with you. There are so many different scenarios here, but some of you just know that that's not the right relationship for you and that's not the right person for you. Some of you know this, but still hanging on. So let's talk about how to let your ex go, even if you still love him. So I have a few tips for you. Tip number 1, ask yourself, does he love me? Does he love me? Now, when I say ask yourself this question, I don't want you asking yourself in your head, does he say that he loves me? I want you to ask yourself, does he actually love you? And by that, I want you to consider love as the action word that it is. Does he show you that he loves you in some shape, form, or fashion? So if he does not love you, then that is one thing to keep in your mind, that he's not showing me he loves me. Guess what love is not? Okay. Love is not him being with other women. Love is not him degrading you. Love is not him talking down to you. love is not him disappearing on you. Like, those things are not love. So if he's not showing you that he loves you, then sis, that is something that you need to be honest with yourself about, so that you can really get in the progress of saying, you know what, this is not for me. Which is leading to tip number 2. Was that relationship benefiting you? So be honest about this too. And these may be some things you have to journal through to really process. You may need to talk to someone to really process these things, but was that relationship benefiting you? So was it allowing you to be your authentic self? Was it allowing you space to grow your relationship with God? Was it allowing you to really step into the fullness of who you are? Was it allowing you to be purposeful? Was it making you sin? You have to ask yourself these things. Was it benefiting me? Was it making you happy or sad? Ask yourself these questions to find out, was this relationship actually beneficial for me? Hey sis, do you want to know what women just like you are saying about these one-on-one heartbreak coaching sessions? Natalie said, "Candace, you are truly phenomenal. Thank you for operating in your God-given purpose and using your story to help heal other women like myself. Your courage to share and be vulnerable makes you personable and relatable. In our coaching session, the best advice you provided me was that I had to truly let go and put my full trust in God and allow His will to be done. The homework assignment you had me do was truly powerful, and I did repeat this exercise as many times as it took for me to fully let go, as you advised. It allowed me to relinquish control and realize how much easier it is to truly trust and lean on God. Thank you so much for what you do." Sis, if you want to experience breakthrough like Natalie, join me for a heartbreak coaching session where we will come up with a 90-day plan to help you make real progress on your healing journey. I will show you how to partner with God to find comfort and peace in the midst of your heartbreak, while also learning how to enjoy life as a single woman. You will be able to carry out the simple steps to make real progress on your healing journey with a customized plan of how to move forward. I have a few sessions available, and I invite you to sit with me and begin creating the life that you desire. Head over to my website, CandaceABaddies.com/services to book your 60-minute heartbreak coaching session. Remember this from Psalms 55 and 22. Give your burdens to the Lord, and He will take care of you. He will not permit the godly to slip and fall. I love you, sis. Now back to today's episode. And then number 3, pray and ask God to help you let go. This is a big one, and it may not seem like a big one because you may feel like it's not practical, so to speak. It's not hands-on. But let me tell you something. There's something about the power of prayer. And God has really been showing me how powerful my prayers are. He's been showing me and reminding me that you are righteous through Christ Jesus. And the Bible says that the prayers of the righteous are powerful and effective. Okay. And so if you believe that, then you have to believe that when you pray to God about this particular situation and have faith that He will answer you, that your prayers will produce the fruit that you desire. Now you have to desire that, right? You have to actually be in a place where you want to let that go. You have to make that decision. It's hard, yes, but when you start realizing that perhaps this person really didn't love me and this relationship isn't serving me, it isn't benefiting me, I really need to, God, just help me to let this relationship go. Help me to let my ex go. This is not for me. And you have to ask Him specifically what many of you have to ask God to help you to break the emotional and spiritual ties that you have to your ex. Okay, so obviously, if you spent lots of time with this person, if y'all have been dating for many months or many years, then you are attached to this person. You have been tied to this person in some way. Maybe it's emotionally, but sometimes it's also spiritually. You know, there's some type of spiritual bond, and it's not always a good, when I say spiritual, it's not always a good bond, because if you had sex with someone, then you created a spiritual bond with that person. And that's not really what was supposed to happen if that was not your husband, right? So there are bonds there that need to be broken, and you need to ask God for help in breaking those bonds, because more than anything, those are the things that keep you tied to that person. Those are the things that make it really, really hard to let them go. And so the only thing that's going to break something spiritual is something spiritual. You have to fight it in the spirit, okay? And so you have to pray about that, and you have to speak over yourself that you're set free from that through Christ Jesus. You're set free from this soul tie, so to speak. You may have heard that term before, but you need to declare that the bonds are broken, and you need to be praying to God to help you to do that while you are doing these practical things, while you're asking if he loves you, while you're assessing whether or not the relationship was benefiting you. The prayer is essential. That is like the key thing that needs to be happening. And then tip number 4 is remember why you broke up in the first place. All right. So sometimes when we think about, was it benefiting me? And we think about all the things that were happening, X, Y, and Z, but actually think about what led to the point of either you saying or him saying that you no longer want to be in this relationship, or he no longer wants to be in this relationship. Y'all no longer want to be together. Something led to that. It may be a culmination of things. It may be a lot of little events that just built up over time. It could have been something big that happened, but you have to actually be real about that. What actually caused this relationship to end? Why did we break up in the first place? So that is also a very key component there, because sometimes I think we try to romanticize things and we try to forget that there's a problem here. And that problem led to this relationship ending. So that is very important. Tip number 5 is go no contact. If you are trying to move on with your life without your ex, you cannot still be in contact with him. Okay, and I know this is easier said than done, especially for people who are married and people who have children. This is going to be something that is hard, but in those instances, you go to the least restrictive contact. Okay, so like the least amount of contact necessary that you have to have with this person. But if you have no other ties to this person, if you are not married to them, if y'all don't share anything, if y'all don't have any kids together, then guess what? Absolutely no contact, because this cannot be a gradual thing. Oh, well, I'll gradually let him go. Oh, I'll stop talking to him so much. Oh, I'll stop texting him so much. No, you need to cut it off altogether, because just the faintest little text message from him saying something that, lights you up, or, maybe, hey, can you come over? No, because you don't want to even have the door open for those types of things to happen. You need to set that boundary. And so that means no phone calls, no text messages, no emails, unfollow him on all social platforms. You don't need to see him while you're in this phase. And you may never need to see him again, but definitely not in this phase, like the least amount of contact necessary. And if you can go completely no contact, and when I say if you can, that's only like if you don't have kids or whatever the case is, but you can. If you don't have any other ties to him, you absolutely can. You just may not feel like you want to emotionally, but you can do this. You absolutely can do this. And that's another thing to pray about. Ask God to give you the strength that you need for this tip, for this step. God, I can't seem to just let go in that way. I can't seem to just completely stop talking to him. Help me to do that. How do I do that? And practically speaking, again, either you have to block him everywhere. If he's someone who's trying to reach out to you, block him everywhere. Block him from calling and texting. Block him from social. Block him, if a friend has something to say, if they bring up his name, stop. We're not talking about him. I don't want to hear about it. What he did, who you saw him with, doesn't even matter to me. I don't need to hear about it. The no contact is really important, because you just need to be able to, it's like that's a way where you're pulling free. I'm not saying that alone is going to make you, free from this person and not miss them. You might still be missing them, and that's a very natural thing, but it's going to help you as you go through this process of letting go. And then tip number 6 is to give it time, because you might be saying, I have tried all of this. I've tried some of it. I've tried all of it, and it's not working. Well, it may not be working in the time frame that you want it to work, sis, but it will work over time. You may not be completely over him, but maybe you're feeling better about it. Maybe you're not missing him as much. And those are things that you need to take into account, that you are making some progress. You may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you were. So that's important to recognize that, I'm making progress here. I'm not completely over it, and continue to pray about that. God, continue to strengthen me through this process, because I know, sis, I know you want something better for your life, right? This is not where you want to be. It's not where you want to stay. And the longer that you stay in this place of holding on to your ex, the harder it's going to be to move on when you're really ready. The harder it's going to be to heal. The harder it's going to be to move into another relationship, because you're still holding on to the last one. You have to make up in your mind that you're ready to do this. And you take these steps and you really start working them, start applying them in your life to really let him go. Okay, I know it seems like an impossible feat for many of you. It seems like an impossible thing to do because you think you're just so in love with this person. But sis, let me tell you, you fell in love and you can fall out. You can fall out. And these are ways that you can do that. So go ahead, work it, come over to the Facebook group, let me know what you might need help with. If you need me to do another episode to expand on anything, also let me know that. You can always email me at contact@candiceabuddies.com. And just to recap, let me recap these 6 tips for you really quickly. 1, ask yourself, does he love you? 2, what's that relationship benefiting you? 3, pray and ask God to help you to let go. 4, remember why you broke up in the first place. 5, go no contact. And 6, give it time. All right. I love y'all so much. And I appreciate each and every one of you who listen every week. And y'all, I'm telling you, if you keep applying the tips that I give you here, the wisdom, when I have other guests on who's giving wisdom, keep applying these things that you hear, and you will see change in your life. You will see progress over time, and you're going to get to a place where, you're going to wake up one day and say, God, what happened? I'm healed. Like, healing is definitely something that doesn't happen overnight. So I need you to know that if you're broken up today, this week, and you want to be healed by next week, I'm so sorry. That's likely not going to happen. Okay. But if you keep being consistent and showing up on your healing journey and taking it day by day, you're going to have some good days, and you're going to have some days where, it's a struggle. But as you see that upward trend in your emotions of actually feeling better and being able to move forward and being able to do the things you used to do, or things that you desired to do and never got a chance to, if you are seeing your progress, you're seeing your relationship with God grow, you're seeing that you're able to walk in the purpose that God has called you for. You're seeing that you're able to do these things, and you're missing your ex less, then guess what? That's tremendous progress. And that's what I want to see for you. So again, if you have any questions, you can come over to the Facebook group, join us there. Our community is great, and I love y'all so much. I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye, sis. Hey sis, listen, if you have been blessed, changed, or inspired by this podcast in any way, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This is the #1 way that you can thank me and show support for the show. Also, if this podcast blessed you, don't keep it to yourself. Do a quick share and bless someone else. Please know I am so grateful for each and every one of you, and I would love to hear from you. Come connect with me and other like-minded individuals in my Facebook group called Christian Women Overcoming Heartbreak and Finding Purpose. I can't wait to meet you back here really soon. Until then, remember to love the life you have while you're making it better. Love you, sis.